that are coming out now are changing the way things are done. And one thing about that you can count on is change. It's happened before, it'll happen again. And as these rules come out, the nice thing about this rule is there's a 12-month lead on it. So people can figure out the technology, which has already been figured out. But technology moves pretty quick. Now it's just a matter of the rest of the industry kind of adopting that change. Like, okay, what's this going to look like? Because it's going to change the landscape of a lead. A lead's going to go up in cost with
Yeah.
these regulations. Leads are going to be handled a little differently. Some people are talking about, instead of buying leads, people are going to go back to the days of buying traffic. Let the traffic land on their site so they can control the technologies instead of trusting their partner to run the proper technology. Sometimes you sit down with a client that's going to, a source of traffic is going to drive you leads. They tell you all the technology they use. 5 years later, they've changed their technology stack without telling you, and it's not exactly what you're looking for. And then all of a sudden, TCPA violation gets triggered. You call them for records and they don't have it.
Mhm.
Oh, we changed our technology stack, or forgot to let you know, or the email got buried in, your daily email or whatever. Something changed and you weren't aware of it. So a lot of these companies, just to be on the ultra safe side, especially the brands, are more likely going to start buying traffic to their own landing pages, their own operated pages, and then putting the technology that makes sense to them on that page in order to ensure the quality themselves. So this way, they don't have to count on some third party doing it for them. They can do it themselves.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I think that you bring up a good point there. With you and I were just, talking before we started the webinar, Rich, about what I personally saw is more brands were at the show we were just at. And I think that brings up a great point as to why we probably, or that I specifically saw, that brands are going to want to start controlling that process. So they're going to buy the traffic, but they're going to control the vendors that are used. So they know the technology that's being implemented is actually being used, and there's not going to be any surprise changes on the back end. That email gets buried. They weren't notified for some reason, anything like that. So yeah, I think you bring up a great point there. And that's probably why we're seeing the shift already, even though companies are still given that 12-month window.